Hey,
I'm
we're at
not,
CES.
I'm not used to seeing you with me. I'm used to seeing you here. I'm like, oh my God, he's right next to me.
We need to switch around, right?
What's
Hey,
up?
audio check real quick. We're going bare minimum just on the network. I tried to connect it to the DJI Pocket 3. It didn't work out so well. So we're just going to go audio with the microphone in the notebook. Audio is great. All right. Thank you,
This is a
John.
terrible angle. We both have the camera. Like, we
Look at this baby fat. He looks so young. Oh, let me turn on the beautifier. Let me turn on the beautifier.
Is it on? Ooh, wow.
Yeah, so we're doing it.
Even your face is big at this angle.
We're doing it in the hotel room because last time we did it on site, we had to shoot with music going around. So copyright strikes. And some guy walks by blasting music. The algorithm hears it, and bam.
Well, and he tried to goes, well, I'll help your internet. And he unplugged it. I was like, oh, okay, thanks. Come on, you guys, is that better? I'm like, no, it's gone.
I got this in Japan.
How are you guys? How's everybody
Hi,
doing?
everyone. You know what's funny is I brought along a gold chain that has a giant F on it, but I didn't get a chance to put it on. I'll have to put it on later. So we've seen both Samsung and LG, and LG's embargo doesn't lift until tomorrow morning.
Yep.
And thank you, Senator. And this guy looks sharp. He's walking in, the girls like, ooh.
You can tell by this camera or later.
But the embargo has been lifted for Samsung.
Yep.
So we can talk. Now, there are a few things we're going to see at Samsung tomorrow that we don't know about, but it will be embargoed possibly indefinitely. We're going to meet with, so today we met with Samsung Electronics. So if you guys don't know, Samsung Electronics is the company that makes all the TV, sound bars, refrigerators, all that stuff, right?
We're in the same room tonight with your partner, Grime. We are in my room. We are not sleeping together.
Maybe next year. No. I gotta give you a tour of this room, guys. I gotta totally give you a tour of this room.
We'll share this real quick. Momo says to me, he goes, my room was really, really cheap. I was like, mine was really expensive. He goes, well, you should have got it at a different time. He goes, oh, my room is massive.
Let's say what it's like double security. My room, any Joe can go upstairs. Anyone.
Your room, just push the door open.
So I'm at the Caesars Julius elevator, like hobos are going up and down. This is your bag, for your clothes, the gapper, and then they let you in. Okay, one bed, two bathrooms.
Yeah, it's massive. TV is
huge.
Trash.
So there's a lot of space here. And now next year we might actually dorm it fresh.
Yeah, I might as well do it. Because Jennifer Gottle in the house. What's up, Jen?
Hey.
What's up,
we saw Samsung Electronics.
Samsung Electronics, yeah. We saw the big first look last year,
yes.
The big kickoff. And this was another.
Audio is breaking and very low. I'm putting this on the internet. We're using the hotel Wi-Fi and need the Sony XR Clear. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about competition for Sony XR Clear. Now, tomorrow, we've been invited to Samsung Display Secret Hideout, and they're going to show us what they're working on. So as you know, Sony announced 4,000 nits. So I'm going to talk to Samsung Display to see how you guys respond to 4,000 nits. And we saw LG Electronics today. That embargo list tomorrow morning. So we're going to talk about LG Electronics tomorrow morning. And then hopefully we get a lifted embargo for Samsung Display. In the meantime, let's talk Samsung Electronics, what we saw today. And why don't you start with?
Well, you can talk about everything we saw.
Yeah.
I mean, last year, what stole the show for me was micro LED. Me really seeing it in the flesh, and not just the panel, the unibody. We saw some of them last year. This year, we actually saw a unibody at 190 inches. What was the size? There was a unibody micro LED, which was shocking. We have a lot of footage of that. AK made some big adjustments with their processing, and the key thing for Samsung this year is going to be processing. They've heard a lot of comments about processing maybe lacking with upscaling. So, thanks for being patient, homie.
Yeah, the audio was so good a minute ago, and now it's like out. Maybe okay. So this is the hotel Wi-Fi. Let me see if it's better if I use my phone. 1 second. Okay, is that better? Checking, checking, checking. Before we continue and give you our top secrets, I want to make sure you guys can hear it. You can have audio or video, but not both. Yeah, we're cutting our video.
Yeah, better.
Better,
Yes,
better.
yes, better.
Okay,
Go.
and I'm on my phone. That's why. So let's see if out the 5G Verizon here will do better. Okay, great. Thank you. Oh, hey, Robert.
Robert, what's happening?
So Samsung Electronics.
So
Where did we-
Samsung Electronics, I think the most fascinating thing I saw was the same as micro LED unibody.
Let's talk about unibody.
Yeah, so it's not these separate panels, which look amazing from far away. When you get up close, you can see that they're components, and you can see the seams. And then if you get too close, seeing the unibody at I can't remember the size, 198.
120. 128, I think, right? Is it larger?
Larger than that.
Oh, wow, maybe larger.
But they were massive. They were gorgeous. 8K really focused on their processor being 4 or 5 times more powerful. So going after XR Clear, but not going after XR Clear on every resolution.
Right. So
At least
Samsung.
that was our just a bit.
So first of all, it was cool to see micro LED going from 76 inches all the way up to like 120 inches, and then at the largest size, it was one case, no seams. So they're getting closer to selling a one-piece TV for the home, but it was really huge. It was saying it's like $180,000 or whatever,
Yep.
150,000. So it was cool. Then they showed the translucent, transparent micro LED,
Which
but
is pretty amazing.
we're excited to see the applications. We've seen some implementation,
Yeah.
but we can't talk about it yet.
Yep.
And what about? Oh wait, you mentioned the AI processor. So they're going after XR Clear, unfortunately. So they went over all the things that make XR Clear special. They're saying, well, we're gonna raise the highlights here. I mean, everything they said, we're like, wait, it's not like XR Clear. We're going to improve your bandwidth, blah blah blah.
You
But
can't turn it off either.
and like XR Clear, you cannot turn it off, right? So here is the deal. It only comes in your 8K TV. So if you want it on a Neo QLED 4K, don't have it. Does this mean we have to get a 65-inch 8K to test, just to test that new neural? It was pretty impressive, the demo. Now, of course, demo material being what it is, but it looks like this year, the TVs, LG and Samsung.
These guys with like it's every as a
What is it? Oh, the picture's freezing. I'm at 480p now. Let me see. I've dropped down to 5G. I'm at 480p too. Oh, let's see. Oh, your connection is fairly good if you're on Wi-Fi. Guys, keep your move slow. I like this part right here.
Yeah, Gorilla Pancake. If you want to see it, it's on my channel. I just did a video on it. The non-reflective QD OLED.
So let's talk about QD OLED.
77 inch.
So first of all, Samsung Electronics will not tell us which one is QD OLED and which one is WOLED.
Well, they certainly showed us which one the S95D was because it has the one connects. They couldn't hide that. But having the 83 inch, they would say if that was a QD OLED or the 75D, which is now their entry level OLED. They won't say if that's a RGB OLED. They have 42 and 48, so they won't say if those are QD OLEDs.
And the good thing is, I thought their entry level QD OLED looked really good. As a matter of fact, I thought the back of the entry level QD OLED looked better than the mid level. The mid level is like the S90 replacement. looks the same as the S90C. S90D will look the same. They have an S85, 89.
So the SE, there's an entry level, but they won't say if that's QD. They want the curved back. They wouldn't say if that was QD OLED. They said that was they wouldn't let us know. There was
They
definitely
wouldn't say if it's WOLED or QD OLED. So that's the other thing, right?
so they have more OLEDs to go. 83-inch was the WRGB OLED last year. They're doing a few more sizes of that. So they have an anti-reflective layer on it now that
But unless you do a side by side with last year's, it's hard to say if it's better or worse, right?
which they did have, but you really couldn't see the difference. I think
Right.
it was too bright, or it wasn't bright enough, I should say. There wasn't direct sun on it.
No, Gorilla Pancake has a good point. They did change the QD OLED crystal structure. The question is it changed for all sizes? So they specifically changed it for people to use on their computers. The complaint is text doesn't render as well.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes, they changed it. How effective is the change remains to be seen, but it should be better. And I just want to make sure it would be on all sizes. So before committing to any new size, we'll get that clarification from Samsung Display tomorrow.
Yeah, well, and also seeing Samsung double down on 8K, I was surprised that they are fully committed to 8K, where they've shared technologies with 8K and 4K. This year, they're kind of leaving 4K a little further back, and 8K is where they're showing this new technology, which is an upscaling, which is pretty dramatic. Which it's hard to, I mean, they had side-by-side tests. They have another Motion Plus. They weren't showing those together. So you wonder if they can handle it together. But the upscaling was pretty amazing, kind of saying that 8K content's never really coming. We're going to create it ourselves.
So let's talk about that AI processing. So you could choose either AI upscaling to 8K or AI motion to 8K. And the scene they showed was the golf ball.
Yep.
It hits the golf ball, it comes dropping down. On the non-AI processed version, you can see the ball stuttering. And on the one that had AI, it was smoother.
Yep.
And they both looked like had soap opera, except one ball was easier to see.
Yeah.
So
in the upscaling part of it, you saw where they would smooth and sharpen the image without really losing. It didn't look like it was DMR'd. So it didn't look artificial, meaning that they were able to clean up the image but not have it look too clean where it looked false. So that was pretty cool. Basically saying they finally have the 8K upscaling be a real thing versus relying just on pixels and data.
Yep. And to answer your question, Jason Sims, yes, BT 2020 can be streamed, but here's the thing, Jason. Whether it's just a container and whether the content source actually has BT 2020 color information, you do not know. So it'll say you have BT 2020 color space on the stream, but it could be Rec 709 inside the BT 2020. It doesn't expand to BT 2020. So it's very easy to put Rec 709 or DCI-P3 inside a BT 2020 flag or container, and you wouldn't know. So Jason, you would almost have to have a reference monitor next to it. So you could say, oh yeah, I can see it. Otherwise, you don't know. You just don't know.
And definitely they're I just picked up an S9 Ultra tablet, and the way it talks to my phone, and they're really going into where you can have Netflix playing on your pocket, which we were joking about how that could be where it's picking up content. But you would walk into the house and you'd have the option to literally have it be your TV would pick it up and grab where you were.
Okay, you bring up a great point. So what's lost, and we're gonna go into details once the video's out. But what's lost in all this is Samsung did a phenomenal job showing how your house is connected, right?
Yeah,
a connected house. So I know you guys don't like the monitoring, which privacy issues being what it is, but it's unavoidable. It's the future. So if you are going to buy any one ecosystem, Apple, Samsung, LG,
smart
Google,
things.
it doesn't matter. Choose your poison. If you choose Samsung, they did a phenomenal job demonstrating how it works. But the demo is complete in so many ways. We're talking healthcare, senior care, workspace. There was a room where if you walked in, it will show what you saw last. And if it was some K-pop star, it'll start to run the mosaic of your favorite K-pop star.
Yeah, it was kind of trying to predict, but his other thing too is saying what a lot of us do is we're having something playing in the car, or you have something playing gym, we all put our phone down and then we go into the TV. You would literally be able to program the TV that when you walked into the room, it would pick you up and it would go right to the show where you were, which is a pretty cool thing because you can transition. And they also did, I can't remember the name of the smart lock that we have on TVs, the Vault or whatever. Enough. They're looking to put that on the TV too, so it's not sharing everything with everyone. So it's more open, but it's within your home. What they're trying to do. They don't want you to think you're sharing.
So J.R. Fraser has a very good question. Samsung Electronics will never share what their panel OEMs are.
It was really pulling teeth tonight.
Yeah, and he was very clear. The truth is things are changing in flux. We will just tell you that we'll use the OLED we think works best. Blah, blah, blah. So that's put that aside. Samsung Display, on the other hand, are very clear what generation they're in, all the features of each generation, and when they're selling it. So they'll say, for example, yes, we've been selling this to OEMs, manufacturers since November. Right,
yeah, now. I don't know what they have.
You don't know what model it's on, what size, but we can tell you this.
Yeah.
These are the sizes we're making. We've been shipping since this date, and this is what it does. So with that, we try to cobble together, and so normally when you go with flagship, you're guaranteed the latest generation.
Yeah.
And everything behind the flagship is, like last year, the S90C, the smaller size started with last year's S95B, first generation. Then once all of that was worked through, they have the second generation. Now, I can say that the third generation, there's been rumors that it's simply amazing. I don't know what that means. It could mean anti-glare. So tomorrow morning we'll find out what it is.
Yeah.
So those of you who haven't bought a OLED Samsung, wait to get excited. Wait to find out what happens tomorrow, because we don't know what third generation brings. All we're hearing is unverified rumors, but we'll talk to Chirag. Yeah. If you saw my video, I challenged Chirag. I'm like, Sony is saying 4,000 nits is the future. The OLED is not doing 4,000 nits today. Can you do what you do? OLED is dead. And then Rasmus on flat panels, wait, it's not far off. Like, what? Yeah. It's not far off. What are you trying to say? It's not far off. So, because he gets even more information than we do. So, I don't want to give him a hard time, but he wanted to make sure people know that the OLED team knows the 4,000 nits is the future. It's a matter of time. Should we bring it out now, or wait until Sony's brewing the content, and then we'll bring it out later? Because really, if there's no content yet, it's still a rush. Why rush it? Let's make money on 1,000 nit, 2,000 TVs, and then when Sony can get Netflix and goes about 4,000 nit, all right, we could turn it on anytime.
Yep,
right.
Absolutely.
But we don't know. I mean, maybe this year you get 5,000 nits. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Look, all the good stuff in the audio is dropping. We shared the top secret.
We're doing the best we can, my friend.
So, Gorilla, the answer may be yes. I have to talk to Chirag to see if it's size limited, but I believe the answer is yes, for sure on the smaller sizes. Well, definitely the monitors have it. And the question is whether it makes it to the 55-inch and above.
Kitty Gene, and he's like, I bought a Hisense, baby. All about mini LED.
Almost Sony's thing with OLED. Oh, no. So let's be clear. Sony loves OLED still, but they're pushing a 4,000 nit agenda so that they can sell their other TVs. Otherwise, they're stuck selling only OLEDs.
Well, I mean, and I mean, Sony. I know even my partner over here ran with that because he thinks it's funny, but everyone else is running with that like it's like Sony put a tombstone on it. No. The A95L is basically a 2024 TV. Yes. That should be the narrative. They put out their best. They're gonna let that run. Then next October they'll drop another one. Yeah. So they're gonna embrace the backlight master drive, and they're shadow detail based anyway, and the director's intent based. But this whole they're killing OLEDs. I mean, come on, man, chill with that.
Yeah. So, well, no,
like no one cares about it. You're right.
But Sony is killing the future of OLED only to the degree that if OLED cannot get to 4,000 nits, the consumers, not Sony. So if Sony's pushing 4,000 nits, the consumer's like, why am I buying this dim-ass TV?
Yeah.
And in essence, Sony's pushing 4,000 is putting an early grade on OLED because OLED's expensive.
Yep.
If OLED was cheaper and competitive, OLED is still a premium product when you can get an 85-inch mini LED for under 2,000.
Yep.
That's almost
The
4,000.
problem is we get back into the fact that brightness means nothing, even if the content is 4,000 nits without the micro contrast, you're still not going to have that pixel control. So if you're going to add back into a bright image without depth, so I don't know why it's a big deal.
Michael makes a really good point here. Is no one USA cares about 8K at 65 inches, but what we talked about was the best neural processors on 8K. And last year, why did Sony sell so many TVs for XR Clear?
Yeah.
X90L, A95L, 80L.
The 8K will be an afterthought. The reason the Samsung never sold 8K TVs is they were never the best TVs in their lineup.
No, I mean, I did comparisons for the 900 PS. I was disappointed.
Yeah.
The 900A, disappointed. 900B bought it. I gave it to my parents, and they were disappointed.
Well, the 900A came out. The 900A was the best LED that Samsung created. People would have bought 8K just to have, like the Z9K. You bought that because it was the best Sony LED. You didn't buy it because it was 8K.
Right.
Samsung didn't commit to that. Then the QN90A was better. The QN90B was better. And then that's where you get into this problem. They're really not doing that this year. They're going to look and make the TV as good as it can.
The focus is definitely not on 8K content per se. Samsung was focused on saying, this is a better TV. This is giving you a better image. It just happens to be 8K.
Well, and they're finally focusing on the fact that upscaling isn't just part of our processor, part of pixels. We're going to create the upscaling through processing.
And John, that's exactly what they're doing. Unfortunately, because I asked them, why are you not bringing it to 4K? They're like, it's not on the 4K. It's on the 8K. So I think everything you talked about, John, is on the 8K.
And John, they need to delineate it too, because that's why they're not selling 8K TVs. Not because there's no 8K content. That's obvious. But again, you said it, if it's the best TV, they would buy it. It's just not. So, and because the pixel density isn't as bright as the 4K TVs. So, though I think 8K TVs always improve as time goes on, they're so expensive, so they're going to make you buy it.
And will Sony be replacing the XR anytime soon, like they did with the Ultimate Chip? That could be worthwhile putting out for.
2 days ago.
So it just came out now.
They are doing something.
It does get better generation to generation, but they won't necessarily rename it into like another XR2. So you're probably going to see improvements, but until we will be at Sony. And
Sony's point was XR is not really new. XR is built upon years and years of their technology. It's like they didn't come up with a whole new thing. They kind of created. It was more of a culmination of all things. So they're not going to just replace it. I mean, that's their new lingo.
And Brad makes a good point. I know you guys, some hate, some like Samsung, but their ecosystem is the most mature, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of Samsung products, just happen to have an iPhone, but I do notice that it's very well baked. Whether you like it or not, it's a different matter. But if you were to get into an ecosystem between LG's OS, Sony is really a Google ecosystem, and Samsung and TCL High don't have an ecosystem yet. Samsung's the way to go, especially because there are Samsung phones, and your phone really has a lot of your content, right, and your productivity stuff. Whereas LG is not quite there, and Sony definitely doesn't have that, nor TCL Hisense, and Apple doesn't have the TV. So Samsung, I'm very impressed with, and this is not like the first year. They've been doing this for years now, but this year feels like, all right, I think it's come together this year to me. Man, you're watching low bit rate quality content with a super expensive TV. Not only that, John, we're talking about super expensive TV coming to you. Now, if you have the Samsung 8K 2024 TV, we'd look so clean, the audio would be fixed.
The pixels would be dancing because they're fake.
TV sizes, OLED sizes. I was surprised to see Samsung selling 42, 48-inch OLED. Now, they wouldn't tell us if it's QD or W, OLED, of course. Now, I only heard on the grapevine that they were getting the larger OLED sizes from LG Display. I suspect they're getting the smaller ones as well. I don't think 42, 48, but that's my...
No, and I feel like keeping it quiet is more like if it was something they wanted to, like when they dropped the S95V, just hit you over the head with it. Same with the S95C. They're keeping things quiet that aren't going to blow you away.
Right.
So if they had it, they would just be like, whack, and they're not doing that.
Well, who goes whack to us is actually Samsung Display. because last year Samsung Electronics didn't know how much better their TVs were. We had to go into the innovation room. Then we had to go into Samsung Display's own little workshop, and they said very specifically, in our labs, we're able to do this. Now, what Samsung Electronics takes from that, will they hit that max? We don't know, but we know they're capable of like a 50% brighter image without threatening the lifetime of the TV. And then it's Sony and Samsung and everyone else to play with that number in software.
Absolutely.
And so the question is whether the S95D is a big upgrade over the S95C. Is it software limited? Is it going to fully take advantage of third generation panels? Assuming third generation panel is out, ready to go now. And if it is, it could be. So, and if that, so Samsung Electronics is no longer saying 100% brighter, 50% brighter, whatever. There's no context to that. So what they always say is better images. So we'll see, because last year's S95C, by the end, it was phenomenal. But here's something interesting.
I know exactly what you're
I pulled the Samsung folks and I go, hey, do you love the S95C?
Like,
the S95D? I'm like, wait. You guys understand the One Connect box I do not recommend for gamers?
Yeah, the dropout.
Right. What's a dropout?
So no, you saw the guy next to him breaks out a notebook. He's like,
right.
What was that? Like, have you not heard this yet?
Can you spell dropout? I go, do you not talk to him? He goes, no, this is the first time we heard of it. We got to tell the boys in Korea.
And they were a little mad that the S90 became our most recommended because it didn't have the One Connect box.
It looks so close.
Yeah.
It has full bandwidth. There was no dropouts, or less dropouts at least, because I know people think we have both. But we're talking on the S95C dropouts, not just at the highest frame rate.
Yeah.
4K 120 people were getting it. They were getting at PS5 at 4K 60. It was just inconsistent. And we know it's the One Connect. As well as the guys, just tell them the gamer's choice is the S90C last year. Because he's like, you mean dropouts and it gets fuzzy? I go, no, the image disappears.
Drops out. He's like, oh, he thought the frame rate slowed down. I'm like, no, it's not slowing down. And I would say that this year, we walked in last year, we were shooting micro LED, and then we saw that 8K was still only had a couple models, more QLED 4K, and then OLED only had two models: the S90 at 65. They had 65, S90, and S95 next to each other. That was all they had. This year we had the S90 77. Oh, I'm sorry, S95 77, S90 65, 83, 65. There was a 55, 42, 40. So there was five of them.
Now, whether there's a 42-inch version of the S95D, we won't know.
I'm saying they seem like they're going to be regular OLEDs. The only S95D we saw, there was only one 77. Right? The rest of them are S90s.
Yeah.
So
my suspicion is the S90 continues to be what the C series used to be, where you didn't care for the G series stuff. The S90C or the S90 series is taking place of the C series from LG, because it looks like this year, with all the announcements that come out, the C series is falling further and further behind. Because let's just say the G4, without going into detail, is definitely a better TV than the C.
Again, I think they're trying to. What was we knew with the G series for the longest time, not the longest time, but how much better was the C series? So I think the C series needs to have a smooth home, which is the B series. Maybe improving, but being just a very good TV. Versus the superstar.
Right.
But I guess we'll jump off LG before we get in trouble going back into. Samsung, seen them go hard on 8K.
Well, what about this? Did you see that 8K projector?
Yeah, I mean the projectors and stuff are great.
Short throw.
The problem was the lighting in that room. Last year the lighting was very dark, so that probably would have looked better. This year we shot it, but it was very pale looking because everything. But they had these really cool canister projectors. They were shooting. They had speakers on them.
Second generation style.
Yeah, they were shooting everywhere.
And that was dark. That was in the dark because it doesn't do well in a bright room.
But they had the lifestyle videos everywhere. The lifestyle rooms, they were pink, they were very bright. So they kind of conflicted with each other. The room wasn't as big, but I think that's because the other area is going to be tomorrow for the innovation.
So JR, so this is the part we don't know is if the S90D uses a third generation panel, and if the third generation panel is a huge upgrade, and the S90D didn't hold it back with software, it would be better than the S90C just on the panel side, right? We don't know yet, and Samsung Electronics will not confirm whether they did anything special. We
They
just
won't
look at it.
confirm anything.
Like last
period.
year, I was shocked the 77-inch was so good.
Yeah.
And I thought it was an accident. I think it was. They didn't intend it to be that good. Maybe they will learn. Back. So, but we could be pleasantly surprised.
But well, we know if they didn't have enough to sell. What's up, Leo? Leo, be happy to know that the 8K was very strong. They are not.
So no, we should tell. This is the time to buy the 8K Samsung, Leo.
Leo's like, come on, baby.
Because they finally got their neural whatever.
Oh my god!
I mean, their chip processor is 4 times powerful.
So they were saying 4 to 5, but they were saying the multi capabilities of it, but that it's not going to be close to the 4K. Where we the QN95C had the newer processor, but it didn't change the image that much. Now they're saying it's going to be a very big deal.
Hey, Rockefeller. So Nakamichi Dragon 2024, I can tell you that Samsung is rolling with what they've been working. They did not add anything new. I looked at specs that look similar, but they don't want to compete with Nakamichi, mostly because they're selling so many flagship soundbars, and you guys saw the price, $800, $900 for that flagship. And they're like, if we need to really sell in volume, we just drop it by $500. If they go Nakamichi, it's never going to go under 2,000. And I love where they are because if you really want to go high end, go Nakamichi. And Samsung's saying, we're not going to play there. We will play in the $1,500, and it's a good soundbar.
It goes back into the ecosystem then too. Yeah, we're not going to have that connection.
Yeah, Aqua. I will talk to Chirag about QNED tomorrow. We're meeting with Chirag tomorrow. Yep. So definitely. Let's see what he says. Bring in the brightness. Tell us, are you guys into the brightness? Because I got so many comments. 2,000 nits is too bright. I want to keep it at 1,000. I'm like, what? And 1,000 is not that bright. So
and that was kind of like where we went the X95L this year was 2,500 nits. It wasn't like a Z9K, and people were happy with that, even though OLEDs were right there. Now we're like, that was still 2 months ago. Now I'm ready to go back to 5,000 nits. No one cares about clipping anymore.
I remember at the beginning of the year, my narrative was, "Well, you guys want to only 1,000 nits." And this it comes out, no,
my dear,
4,000 nits coming. I'm like,
which is just funny because it's going to end up being like one title, Wheel of Power or some crap. We're going to watch that and we'll have to fast forward it.
So, Michael, the reason comment, it's a question of reliability for 1,000 nit OLED today, but it wouldn't last more than a year. It's about longevity. So, and when you said longevity, this is the irony of it all. So OLED right now is outlasting LCD TVs, right? And we're talking good LCD TVs, right? Sony's and stuff. And so, and we're not just talking components be breaking. It's like it's getting dimmer.
DSC is getting worse.
DSC is getting worse. So the LCD may last technically longer than OLED. But OLED has a half-life that is 10 years in terms of dimness. LCDs are getting dim after like 2 years of the super the accelerated use.
Well, that's why we're seeing that a lot of these companies were turning off local dimming during content. Right. Trying to save it that way.
So I think OLED's already competitive. So if they go to 4,000 nits, it may still outlast the LCD TV. Wow. Who knows? No one's tried it, but
with longevity, like it was weak. It's like, hey, does that TV last? I don't know. We'll see. 4 years.
So does AI matter for gaming? It adds latency, so the answer is definitely no. You don't want that.
Yeah, this point with XR Clear not being something they used in gaming, something you wouldn't want to use. Unless you do like a cinematic game mode, which I think they should do, would give it a little bit of a higher. It probably would be very high.
So 8483-inch MLE. So we can say because based on the articles are out. So the articles say yes. Now, you will find out that LG does not want to call it MLE. Is a term given by LG Display.
Well, MLE is the term that Robert gave it.
Yeah.
From what we understand, micro lens array is what it's called, and Robert was from Value Electronics. And Robert said he might be.
The correction is
he's like MLE.
Light LCA. What is that? LCA.
Light control.
And the reason they say that is they may replace MLA. If they replace MLA in the future, it'll still be known as LCA. So LCA is what we call the best approach to making OLED bright as possible, good looking, just like was the one for Sony, not Trinitron.
Triluminous.
Triluminous, right? Yeah. So triluminous means nothing other than the best chemicals to make color look good.
And depending on who was
Zoolander.
hanging out with it, was like, "Ah, go try it." Why? Because there's try. I want to try making it nicer. Like they didn't have any reasoning behind it.
And after this live video, let the glitter start getting spread.
Oh,
Only if Technodad is. And by the way, Technodad's like, hey, what are you guys doing after your stream? Already? I'm like,
yeah, I'm like, dude, relax.
I don't know,
I
man.
gotta make content, bro. I was shoveling at like 3 this morning.
Sony will smash it next year with their OLED. 4th generation QD OLED. What does that bring next year? I mean, if we're to speculate,
it will be next year.
Maybe that's why Sony skipped QD OLED this year. They're waiting for 4,000 nits. Pure speculation.
Could be.
But if QD OLED continues to add 1,000 nits every year, Sony's like, you know what? We're starting this 4,000 nit agenda. What do we do for the next? Let it run this year, and the next year we'll say, boom.
Well, and I mean, even before the 895L came out, the 895K was still a hot TV that people were cool with. So I think people are gonna be totally fine if the 895L continue. So, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. And we stayed up late enough to see our friend Sean.
Are we in his time zone or something?
We're in his time zone now.
What's up, Sean?
Hey, happy
It's
New
gonna be
Year.
a Sean show again. He's gonna do like 80 in a row.
That's all these messages. Samsung should be careful to have better processors this year. Means their DSC will be more complex. Well, maybe the processor will remove the DSC. 85-inch TVs, DSC is the biggest drawback. Yeah. No, agree. I think all of you guys who bought the QN900, because every generation suffered from DSE, and I think Sean's given up on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like where do you want it to be on your screen? In the middle, on the sides, and it's going to be there.
Yeah. I read an interesting article today where they said companies should stop AI their image quality because the creator's intent, this and that. And the irony is, because he was very upset, I'm going to show the article on my next phone show, but it's very interesting because he was very upset that the TVs were doing so much to quote unquote improve the quality of the content. He says, enjoy the grain. We should learn to accept the grain, accept the stutter, all these things, right? And I was like, you understand that when you stream, the creator's intent's already destroyed with low bit rate, compression, whatever it is, right?
That was the argument.
And
it was
right.
Like, oh, that's right.
And Sony's fixing some of that. Now, I know the argument, you can always turn it off. That's always there. And with XR Clear, you really cannot. But I think in the world of streaming, we really don't know what the creator's intent is. I mean, Netflix may do their little magic as well.
But we talked about, though, something if you have a strong grain structure and low light, it might fluctuate or crawl.
That's another thing. So let's talk about light. So, and you guys probably know this because I talk about this all the time, but creator's intent. If the creator is a director, he's made it for the movie theater, shown in a dark room.
He doesn't care about your house.
The light, the brightness of that screen is less than 100 nits, right? And so when it's less than 100 nits in the dark, in a large screen, you will not notice motion artifacts. You take that exact same image, you put it in HDR, you put it on your TV, you brighten it up, suddenly that image has artifacts that was designed not to be seen at lower light. And so just by putting it on a TV, that's no creator's intent. His intent was to see it in the theater. The minute it hits your TV, it's dead.
Yeah.
And so Sony's trying to bring back what you should have seen in the theater where they can. And I think that's fair because unless you have a projector and you're dimming the lights and watching as it was intended, and SDR, by the way, it's not going to be creator's intent.
Well, like any AI, they're going to overcorrect or make mistakes. It's not going to work with all content. As we've seen, certain content will have mistakes. They'll try to overdo it. And you're like, oh, that grain's supposed to be there. My bad. I was hiding the strings like Godzilla. My fault.
Yep. This year seems really boring from Samsung. So Aqua, this is something that I think all the TV makers want to do. Now, Sony had this big 4,000 nit thing, right? But let's just take that aside because that is quite impactful. We are at a point where TVs are so good that each year it's an incremental upgrade. I mean, 4K resolution, I think this is the resolution to have.
The big jump was QD OLED, and we're now in our third year. So it's every 4 years is a big
Samsung
jump.
I think no longer wants to focus on image quality, honestly. Not to say that they don't want to make it better. They don't want to market the image quality. They don't want to say this year looks better than last year. This year looks better than last year. At some point, there is no point to looking better, but rather, is it stable? Does it have dropouts?
Yeah.
Does 4K 144 work? Does Dolby Vision work? Right? They're looking at quality of life things because the chase, the shootout, look at the shootout. By the end, I spoke to Cassie at length about this. He concluded that the S90C was the best TV of 2023. He thought it ended up being better than the Sony now, the A95L, because he has a Sony now. He's lived with it for several weeks,
too much.
right? And he's like, turns out Samsung did a better job. It's a more mature product because they own
It's consistent.
they have this chipset,
Yep.
they have their own OS, everything's working together, and it's stable. And the Sony, the right image in the right time, not on streaming, on the right platform, perfect. But better by this much. But then on streaming, wrong platform, it falls apart. And so Samsung will no longer, I think LG is the same boat, by the way, Samsung, LG, Sony. They're like, we are already there. Our image quality will make 99% of you happy. The 1% waiting for that extra 1,000 minutes, whatever. Consumers, they're going to get a TV. They want it stable. So this is why we're not seeing it. The improvements, meaning the image quality, I'm going to get it from Xiaomi Samsung Display. Samsung Electronics does not want to talk too much about it, other than like Sony. XR Clear, look, our AI does this as well. But until we saw it in action, it's all just.
Well, we didn't buy it until we saw it. But what's funny is what the brightness one. We've already had them for years, and it was always like you'd wait till the ratings get their numbers in. It's only, 2,800 in a 2% window. You're like, so it's like we keep it's 4,000 nits. Was it 890J?
Yep.
Brightest OLED in history, in vivid, in white, in the sky.
Yep.
In 2%, so it really comes into when is it effective, and get back into that. How bad is contrast ratio with that? So we'll see.
I like Michael Mooney's point. This is what I'm talking about. Samsung needs to take a risk on ultra-wide TV for movies and gaming. Thank you for the super chat, Mike.
It is a cool.
So this is the change. Image quality were there. Now let's talk about different form factors, right? They did it with the Zero, which is vertical.
So they did that.
Let's make it ultra-wide.
But I think they also remembered the curved TV was a nightmare for them. It added all kinds of screen uniformity issues. And people don't want this thing curving. Ultra wides are amazing.
Flat ultra wide, like the cinema scope for the projectors.
But you'd have to have one that's so like an ultra wide. The problem with ultra wides is you end up losing height. So you have your wide.
So you have
So I mean, if they can get it to where that's why the 50-something inch ultra wides are cool. If you look at a 47 inch, it's this thin and this wide. You don't want to watch movies like that. If you can get one to your point that's larger, that wraps around you, that could be cool, but it would have to be pretty big. It would have to be 75 or 85 inches.
Can we expect true bezel-less TVs? So Area 51, I thought that the S90 that we saw was bezel-less. Okay, there always has to be a bezel.
Yeah, the screen will crack without it.
You have to have, I mean, it'll be thin. It'll be maybe a couple of millimeters. You have to have a bezel because you have to have something to contain the chemicals.
Yeah.
Even the glass.
This thing's beautiful.
You're still gonna have microns of glass. So what you have now is, I mean, look at your phone, right? I mean, what you have now is bezel. It looks that way, Godfather. Are the 2024 LG TVs using the same plastic? Well, if you're in the USA, it appears so. No changes there. First class, good question. No, they're not. So Sony is continuing to source and sell QD OLED. So the A95L rolls over into 2024 as a 2024 model. No changes at all. We believe that it was actually a premature 2024 product, right?
Well, because you bought it when it was still in the oven.
I know, it's still in the oven.
Phone was looking at the cookies. He's like, you know what? I know those are bubbling. I'm taking those home. He got it home. Was like,
what happened? So QD OLED will be used still. It'll be the A95L. Now the question is, will there be a cheaper QD OLED in 2024? That we don't know.
Well, the thing is also what's cool about Sony, they can pick and choose. They can go with an MLA 880L successor if they want. So they can do things like that.
Let me see if it will be better. So the audio is pretty bad again. Yeah, it's just because the hotel Wi-Fi is also pretty terrible too. And I am on maybe I should put my phone closer to the window.
It's like back in the day with wireless. Go outside. Hello, I'm stable.
I know I'm like,
Too, we can hardline in there.
is there a hard line? Right, invade into my laptop and
Yeah.
suck everything out.
Take all your social security number out.
I apologize. It's a combination of I'm getting the hotel Wi-Fi and my iPhone's hot on Verizon. So I have one bar Verizon, but it appears to be better. You know what? Let me try the hotspot. I mean, let me try the Wi-Fi one more time. I'm not impressed by the Wi-Fi, but we'll try it too. Oh, look.
Forgive my yawning, guys. I flew out at like 3 in the morning.
Okay, we're on the hotel Wi-Fi. Audio check. How's it working? How's audio? Well, you know what? We'll do an audio check with Sean. Thank you, Sean. Oh, wait. Thank you, Sean. If L is having so many problems right now, then it's still means either Sony's too far ahead of other TV or TV show needs to go to the drawing board. So, Sean, let's deconstruct that because that's a very good point. Remember, the shootout uses only two things. First, on the Blu-ray side or Cloud Escape, we use high quality content because it's unfair to use low quality content because that doesn't make sense. But we do have an upscaling feature of low bit rate later in the competition. High quality content, traffic lights, use Cloud Escape and Blu-ray and so forth, right? And in those conditions, Sony kicks butt, right?
Yeah.
Done very well. That's not the issue. The problem is streaming content, Netflix and whatever, in certain movies and shows, in certain scenes, Sony's exposed as having issues in low luminance where the color shifts or there's macro block. It's just banding issues. But we would never have known, Sean, because those shows, for example, I think last you found that show, if you watch the review, it was Loki season 1, episode 2, at around the 15-minute mark. If I'm correct. I mean, who would have known, right? Believe me, Sean, if I knew that scene was an issue, we would go straight to that scene when testing on Apple TV. So part of it is, as reviewers and shootout organizers, we don't know what scene to use. So now that we know, believe me when I say we'll use that next year. Like this year, what did we use? We used the scene that Sony A95K didn't do well last year. Well, the A95L did. So they fixed that. Next year, we're going to pull out scenes where the A95L, or this year, we're going to pull out scenes where the A95L didn't do well. So it's always the case of you don't know what you don't know. And part of it is when we review TVs, Brian is constantly looking at content. I'm looking at content. Class C, KG, we're all looking at different content as well to try to find things where the TV struggle. We share it with each other. Like Brian's, hey, see this show? It's not working out well. Or a classy will comment, can you double check yours? Because maybe I have a bad panel. Because panel lobby is also an issue.
What's very challenging, right? We saw that house,
Yes.
that fall of Usher was very challenging. How does it fluctuate? Let me try it on this one. We had different results.
Yep. So very good point, Sean. And that's why we include you all in our shootout content. We ask you, hey, what content do you have trouble with in your TV and so forth? And then we put in my reviews, I will use content that you guys suggested as well to see if that helps separate the TVs. And then once the TVs address those issues, we move on to other content because at some point we'll perfect that content and it's no longer a good test. Good point. Thank you, Sean, for bringing that up. Like this year, I expect to use different content again. Believe me, Classy is going to choose a whole bunch of very difficult.
Well, and last minute we knew there were certain things we couldn't use, and that screwed it up because there was a lot of time spent on what Classy picked up we can actually use. Yes. So now that we know what we can use,
240 Hz TV. The answer is yes, but not from Samsung. And well, technically, I can't comment on what LG does, but not from LG. Um, TCL has a 240 hertz TV baking in the oven. Whether they'll release it this year is another matter. But it's in the news. It's out there. They're working on an 8K 144 240 hertz TV so that you can game in 8K.
Yeah.
Because the problem with gaming in 8K is the minute you start moving, it's a 4K image. An 8K resolution requires at least 120 frame rate, so you can see that resolution. The motion resolution in 8K is very hard, and TVs can't handle the processing required to move 8K pixels 120.
Yeah.
So 240 hertz, 4K, you're not working on as much as 120 hertz 8K. That's going to come out first. But that's what they're working on. I think because 240 hertz is more for monitors, so they have that. LG announced their 480 hertz monitor that you can flip 1080p, 480 and back again, 240, 4K. So yeah. I'm just rushing through your questions, guys. Oh, and how's the audio now that we're on hotel Wi-Fi? Let us know. We'll just swap back between hotel Wi-Fi and my hotspot. So here's a good comment. A90J reality creation on 50 is smoothing you out, FOMO. So those of you who have a Sony, like Lisa, we will look better. We will look younger.
We carry it around on our faces all day.
It's like FOMO's XR clear future. This is so true, Darren. Every YouTuber at a hotel is trying to upload videos for tomorrow night, right now. Yes, I'm trying to live stream. We're all trying to get work done.
Yeah, I have videos to put up after this. I have a short panel.
Catch Brian's channel. I agree, Cloud. This might be the year to finally get QD OLED monitor. I've been waiting for a flat QD OLED monitor that addressed the RGB pixel layout issue where before it wasn't optimal for text. We know for sure the QD OLED monitor fixed it. Wondering if the TVs did, but I think every succeeding generation the TVs get better and better regardless. And so if you wait this year, of course it'll be slightly better, and then next year better yet again. No, Samsung 8K is not 240, it's 120. Wait, no, it's not even 8K 120. It's 8K. The panel is 120, but you're not going to get 8K 120. If that makes sense.
Plus, I mean, what GPU is pushing 8K?
Sean making everybody look cheap with all those zeros in his. Guys, y'all move to India. Here we go. Walk out. Thank you for the super chat, friend. Looking to buy a 77-inch Sony 80 or Samsung S90C. Would it be worth waiting for Samsung S90D or Sony 80M? So I'll tell you, wait for the S90D, mostly because you may get a third generation panel. I don't want to be put on the spot. S90C is a great deal. The problem is it's probably sold out. Right? The 77-inch S90C?
Yeah, it's
sold out.
Yeah, I mean,
it's no longer at Costco. I don't know.
You can't actually order it from anywhere. You'd have to actually go into a location and see it. Or Costco doesn't have them. You have to be sitting in the store.
If the Samsung website has it at a great deal, get it. The Samsung S93 for under $2,000 at the Samsung website. If you're a AAA American Auto Association member or any of the various membership people who are company employees that have access, it's under $2,000 at $2,000. Now the S89C from Best Buy is $2,000.
Yeah,
I suggest you get it. Personally, for me, I would get it over the AADL because as much as I like the XR Clear, I watch high quality content, and Netflix looks fine to me on SDC. Honestly, I don't care about Dolby Vision on any of the TVs out there. So I really appreciate the bigger images for sports. I like the impact of HDR. So, and the S90C 77-inch is my editor's choice, and it continues to be. Something else unseats it this year, and I like it better than any WOLED for a similar price. And the AADL is slightly more expensive.
It was actually
so even worse, if it was the same price, I would have chosen the S90C. But use case being what it is, Sony does have better motion settings. I am okay with Samsung. I'm okay with the touch of scope. I have my setting at 3 on Samsung's anti-jitter. That's fine. But see, Classy has it at 0. He doesn't like it on the S90C, and I would never watch it at 0. It's too much stutter.
Yeah.
So I get a Sony because motion is distracting. But what about you? What do you think?
I mean, the S90C I thought was nice, but the problem with the S90C, if you do track it down, if anything's wrong with it, there's no replacement for it.
Yeah,
They can't send you a new one. They don't have them.
So, but then they'll get you an S90D.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I did get the first generation panel. Damn.
So yeah, let us know what you get. Rock out, and either way though, it's what is it? It's splitting hairs, but I just want to hand Brian a pillow and a comfort.
I'm tired, man. I still have to shoot a video tonight too.
Audio is still choppy, but okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Thanks, Getty.
Yeah, Getty.
And Getty, I cannot wait to do my Hisense TCL booth tour. We'll be thinking of you, my
We'll see how your energy is, brother. They'll be like,
there you go. Is this Getty approved? It's 110 inches. Oh, screen bouncing. Okay, let me switch back to my LTE. All right. All right. We'll go another 5 minutes because we're losing Brian.
Yeah, I still gotta do a video.
And we're on. See, I was on LTE, and the minute it pops over to my phone, it's back to 5G again. So micro blotching on video now, audio getting bad. Oh. Okay. Thanks for the super chat, Brammer Hammer. Hopefully you could hear us, Brammer Hammer. I'll ask you again tomorrow. I was resistant to Samsung TVs because of no Dolby Vision. Got a Q95B on sale. No Dolby Vision was never a deal breaker. Dolby Vision lobbyists worked on me for years. Not anymore. That's what we've been saying.
Yeah, it's true.
If you have it side by side, you're like, wait, why am I waiting for Dolby Vision again? It looks very simple.
Kind of dark. Yeah, but it's more color. Really? More color black.
Checking, video is getting worse with audio very okay. Maybe this is a good time to sign out. I'll find a better location. I'm going to use my phone to find a location because the hotel Wi-Fi is just all over the place. But before we go, I have to answer the super chat, and I will answer slowly, friendless in the Philippines, so that you get the audio that you paid for. Thank you so much for that super chat. I have A80CL65 in mountain room, meeting room. I'm debating on what TV I should get. X90, C, I guess it's the Costco version. X90 or S90C all. The 85 inch is 77 inch. My wife said she might enjoy the extra 8 inches on the 85. Should I wait? Waiting doesn't help your decision. You'll still be between the 77 and the 85.
They don't grow up. Maybe if I waited, it'll get larger. It doesn't work that way.
So you have the A80. You're used to OLED. Now, 85 is a good size, though. So I say go with the larger size for your wife. She doesn't know what she's missing. It sounds like it's for her. Stop that. Stop that. Go with the.
I say for your wife. Go with the bigger guy.
I'll tell you. It's all about them. Go for the 85. Being in Vegas is just terrible. There with that. Audio better. Disregard my preview chat, FOMO.
Oh, sorry, you lost us.
Oh.
Don't go yet.
My streaming audio video quality just got better 5 minutes ago.
Oh, wow.
All right. Now, favorite TV of Samsung. At Samsung, which TV left the biggest impression? Because I think that's important. We saw so many things. We're talking about it. Before we leave, what was the TV that you would, you know what? I want to buy this TV.
I mean, unfortunately, again, it goes micro LED, which I wouldn't be able to buy. So that's a fantasy.
Let's take that off the list.
So, I mean, I was impressed with the. Yeah, I got a new one. Here's over that couch. You drink out of sleeping together.
Oh.
The 8K TVs look cool, but as far as something I would personally buy, nothing. really wowed me to that degree.
Nothing to replace your ADL.
No, not really. I mean, because I didn't see the 83-inch QD OLED. So had I seen an 83-inch QD OLED or an 83-inch something much better than what I have, then yes. But to me, 8K remains to be seen. They're brighter, much better processor. If that upscaling is legit, maybe I jump back into it because I would go from 83 to 85. I'd go up. Then I get into 144 hertz. That's why I only play. QLED looks like it's being left behind a little bit in the 4K.
Yeah, and that's, I think it's just a TV.
Yeah, no excitement. We're before
last
year.
QLED.
Yeah, last year they had that problem with the 90 being different panel types and the 95C being totally different. So to me, 8K would probably be their most attractive thing.
I really enjoy seeing the 48 and 42 inch. If it's QD OLED,
awesome.
Good. Buying it right away. I'll ask Chirag if he's selling 42 and 48. If he is confirming he is, then it's likely QD OLED. We won't know, but I'll ask him. So if it's QD OLED, I would go with those two TVs as a monitor. Yeah. And of course, confirm that the RGB pixel has changed. I thought that the ultra short throw 8K was very cool. I would consider that because it could throw it a large screen on a wall. Because it's like it was 8K. Yeah. It was 8K, right? So if it was bright enough, and it's okay, it wasn't terrible. I think
the room was rough.
Yeah, it
wasn't dark.
You just dimmed it a little bit, and that could look good. Yep. So I like the 8K. Well, I haven't seen that before. But of all of that, I probably get that as something I know I would use. Yeah, and
the other stuff was prototype. They were great, but again, for me, the micro LED unibody was fantastic.
Oh, wait, the 3D monitor.
Oh, that was cool. Yeah, it was.
Okay, so glasses, no glasses.
Yeah.
So you have a lens layer, a screen layer for gamers, 3-dimensional. So while you're gaming, it looks that it has a holographic feel. I mean, I think it's a little gimmicky. It looks good, but it has depth. It has depth, and it's glasses free. And I like what you guys are saying. I wish Samsung would do something different. That's different. Glasses free.
It is 3D. The problem we've always had with that is if it can be glasses free as long as you don't move your head at all. So if you tilt your head, and all of a sudden the whole image will blur. This I think it was better than that, but that's still going to be a problem.
Yeah. And
I've been up since 3 a.m. my time.
Because he was so excited. It's like Santa Claus.
Yeah, this dude's like, get it together, bro. 3 a.m. my time. I'm also jet lagged. So
and he was also starving.
I like threw down Chinese food. I eat like 4 different types.
No. This is can you put it all together?
I just put it all together, man.
Kung Pao.
Because they had a little bit of everything. Give me the Kung Pao. Give me everything.
Hey, Dylan, thanks for the super chat.
Talking smack about me being tired. Really? You would make it 5 minutes. Try leaving your house at 3 a.m.
No, he's going to get in this car.
Driving your house. I was on a plane, bro. 3 a.m. I was up. Caught my plane.
So now,
no appreciation.
Now they know how to tickle you. We're gonna start.
These guys.
We're gonna start.
Audio's bad. That's it. Audio's bad. Get out of here. It's on my feet for 16 hours.
Dylan, thank you for the super chat. So now that we know there will be at least one real 83-inch flagship OLED offering this year, which before, yep, MLA, LCA, is that one over QD OLED 77-inch.
Of course. If you have the size and brightness, you're going to beat it. I mean,
I think, Dylan, if you are like most people, the 99% content, you'll be very happy with the 83-inch. Uniformity is the only reason you would reach, because uniformity.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, not DSC, but the
just the vertical banding, right? Yeah. So on the G series and the C series, the 83-inch is the most visible. Now, still better than 85-inch LCD. Most of those better than Samsung QN900A at the 85-inch size in terms of banding and DSE, but it's worse than QD OLEDs at 77 inches. So the question is, if you don't notice the banding issues or it's not there, you want the panel lottery, you'll love it. Phenomenal. Right. Now, the price, though, we don't know what it is. It's not going to be inexpensive. Hopefully, the same as this year's 83-inch, but that's over $5,000, right?
Well, the 83-inch didn't have MLA, so it was priced cheaper.
I know. Well, it's over $5,000, so it'll be definitely the this year. Yeah. All right. Oh, Sean's back because the audio's better. I noticed when the audio goes
How much
down,
is that really?
I don't know. I know the color coding. $10, I think.
Oh, wow.
So when the audio goes down, the tips go down. When the audio gets better,
Yeah,
you get
exactly.
hit for
5
hotel
cents.
Wi-Fi. So if someone watches only hybrid content, no less than 1080p and mostly 4K 2060p, which was the best TV last week? What A95L issues? Still A95L or high bit content? Okay. High bit rate kind of neutralizes XR clear, in my opinion. I really liked the S90C. A95L was good.
See for playroom.
Yeah.
The sun directly on it.
Well, if the sun's directly on your TV, don't get the S90C. But if it's just a bright room,
Yeah.
overhead, the S90C is brighter than A95L for almost everything in standard. Sports, whatever. So, but yeah, the anti-glare on the S90C does not compare to the A95L. It really depends on your use case. But did he see bright room? He didn't have a bright room. Oh, for a bright room, yeah.
The X95.
Actually, no, for a bright room, I'd get the G3 at 77 inches.
Yeah.
For a bright room. Or now 82-inch with the MLA. So the G3 is this year G4 would be my choice for bright room OLED watching. It's a phenomenal TV. Yeah. We're really splitting hairs on a lot of things. And of course, DSE, assuming that works. But since Sean's always cursed with DSE, I might stick with QD
Keep going
OLED.
back to the wall, huh? Like, I want more. I'll do one more.
All right. I think it's a good time to let Brian rest. And I say hello to Lisa. It looks like Lisa was struggling with drama here. Here's like she's cried or someone's like,
Lisa, don't get involved.
Come on, Lisa.
Don't bully
You're a
Lisa.
star here. Come on.
Don't bully Lisa, guys.
You gotta help her out. Hey, Glenn.
What's up, Glenn?
I know the minute live stream coffee, boom, crash up.
We got videos to make.
You got East Coast time. It's midnight.
That's all right,
now,
man. I have to do at least another video.
Yeah, but hey, thank you for showing up. Tomorrow we will share LG and what we can with Samsung Display.
Yeah. And
then we can wrap up LG and Samsung. Oh, and are we doing streaming tomorrow?
It's only Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, right? In schedule.
The great thing, guys, is we already finished Samsung and LG, and CES didn't even start yet.
I know, it's so exciting. Yes, tomorrow is Samsung Display and the secrets of Samsung. But at least we can give hints. Or no, we'll wait till someone else shares it. Once it's out in the open, then I could comment.
When can we talk about LG tomorrow?
8 after 9:40 a.m. or 8 after the morning. We have a stream tomorrow. Tomorrow's stream is at 2:30. So yeah, we're solid. We'll be back at 2:30 to talk about it. So tomorrow's stream, guys, and this time I'll find a place with better Wi-Fi for you guys. We try to hear just
downstairs.
Yeah, we'll go downstairs and put on our microphones and we'll talk. Yes, Brian will knock down some Red Bulls as we head off.
Red Bulls tonight. I'll be up all night. Like crack that.
Do you need to edit your video now?
Yeah, I have to make videos up tonight.
All right, guys. Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming by. See you guys next time. Stop the phone.
Later.